Hello friends, thank you so much for watching my video. And today on request of some student I am preparing the video for how to do weld inspection. My some student requested me that they want a video in which I can explain like how to perform welding inspection. So before starting our technical topic, we just start with our principles. So before discussing with the today's topic, we just repeat what we discussed earlier. So we discussed in two segments. One is the culture and second is the continuous improvement. So in culture segment, friends, we discussed everyday learning. We discussed respect every individual, lead with humility, behavior, anger management, and the blue one shows for continuous improvement, in which we discussed seek perfection, embrace scientific thinking, focus on processes, assure quality at source. And friends, today's topic is flow and pull process. FLOW flow and PULL pull process. So friends, flow and pull process is very essential for any growing company, because you can imagine a company which have the flow line which is not uniform, which is not one piece flow, which is not continuous flow. It means like one process happens in one end of the company and the second process perform in second end of the company. So and third process happens in somewhere else. So like component travel from here to there and there to there. So lots of time wastage is there. So friends, one piece process flow or continuous flow is the ideal flow for any organization. And in the in the ideal flow, the customer what he want only value. Like, so the ideal process is value, no wastage. But non-ideal process is value, wastage. So friends, in ideal flow, we need to try our company to be in ideal flow. Like whenever we found anything in which transportation loss is there, or due to this, friends, inventory is going high, because as per ideal flow, like one process completed in one component, then it will go to another process. So you can visualize, you can see. So no inventory will be happen of that component. And if friends, due to wastage, if inventory is high, so it will convert in dead inventory. It will costing your company. It will unnecessarily create the pressure of the employee. And friends, if I am talking about the second point, which is the pull process. So pull process is just opposite of the push process. So before understanding the pull process, I just explain you what is the push process. Push process is that process in which, suppose I am one department and after me one more department is there, like I am a SCM department and after me receiving department is there and after receiving inspection department is there. So what is push? When SCM will take the component, he will give it to receiving. Receiving will not do anything until he not receive the component. The similar way, when receiving team receive the component, then he will deliver to quality team. Up to that time, quality will do nothing. But the same process is going opposite in the pull process. Like this is a customer oriented process. Like when customer give the order, that order convert into the supplier PO and SCM team give it order to the supplier, and SCM team follow to supplier that this is our client OTD. We need to meet the timeline, and he bring the material. Then the similar way, receiving team knows their deadline, because every department have their KPI, key performance indicator, based on client OTD. And in a similar way, the pull process says, like in a company itself, like one department, another department, another department. So like first department is supplier of the second department, and second department is the supplier of the third department. So it means customer supplier relationship between the organization. This is the best process for executing the work. This is the best process to meet the best OTD, you can say. So what will happen in this, like if I am talking about first which department come, SCM, then receiving, then inspection, then warehouse, then assembly. So what will happen? Receiving team is the client or customer of the supply chain department, and inspection team is the client of receiving department, then warehouse team is the client of inspection department, and out of that the final client is the whole soul, and their OTD is the main parameter which every department trying to meet. So what will happen? The next department is trying to pull the process, pull the component and meet their timeline as per their KPI. So friends, I hope I am able to convince you about flow and pull process, and this is a very detailed process. I am trying to convince you about few examples, few things, because I have a very limited time. And now I am moving to my technical topic, that is the responsibility of welding inspector. So understand the responsibility of welding inspector. First we need to understand like one specification I am mentioning, which is the EME specification, that is BS EN ISO 17637, that is non-destructive examination of fusion weld visual examination. This is the examination, this is the standard which dictates like what are the requirement for welding inspection visual on the component. And in this some few important point I noted down from this specification and mentioned there. Like number one is what are the basic requirement for welding inspector. So number one, the welding inspector must be familiar with all relevant code standard specification which is related with material, which is related with welding, which is related with client. And second is he must be informed about the welding procedure to be used. Like welding inspector shall know about which WPS, welding procedure specification, shall be used for this welding. He must know about that. The third point, the welding inspector have good vision, check every 12 months. So if I am talking about SNT TC 1A, so SNT TC 1A says that the person must have some specific eye requirement, that is like Jagger number 1, and up to certain distance he must able to read the sentence. Okay. The next thing about the condition for visual inspection, that is BS EN ISO same 17637. The minimum illuminance where welding is going to happen is 350 lux, and I am recommending 500 lux should be there, so that the welding inspector or you can actually see the welding, clarity of the welding. And second thing, that is regarding the vision access. So understand the vision access. We have to see this figure. This is the welding, this is the parent metal, and the thing, your eye from the welding shall not be greater than 24 inch or 600 mm. That is for sure. Your eye must be less than 600 mm from the welding, so you can clearly see the weld. You can clearly identify the welding defects, any kind of problem. And second thing, the angle what you are applying to view the welding, that not be less than 30 degree. So suppose this is the welding and you are seeing from this. So if I am talking about this is not greater than 30 degree. So this is not recommended. At least minimum greater than 30 degree will be the best way to evaluate the welding bead. And the next thing is like when access is restricted may be used. Sometimes welding is you are not able to see welding directly by eye due to restricted size, due to restricted area. So what will happen? You have to use some ads. But before using these ads, you have to agreement with client. That is one thing. So what kind of ad you can take? One is the mirrored borescope you can use to see the welding bead, and second is the fiber optical beam. Fiber optical beam is a kind of machine in which camera is there and you can put on the welding side, and from your eye you can see one screen where you can see like what is there in the camera side. Okay. And some more measuring devices we are using to measure the welding and welding preparation. That are flexible tape to measure it, steel rule, temperature indicating crayons. Temperature indicating crayons, what we can do? We can check the preheat temperature, we can check the interpass temperature by the help of this. And then welding gauges, voltmeter, ammeter, magnifying glass, torch, and gas flow meter. So friends, in my next slide, like you can see how we can measure. So friends, regarding the welding inspection side, inspector should follow BSEN ISO 17637 for visual inspection. This specification relate for EN standard. If any inspection required ASME spec or AWS spec, he can follow accordingly. The second part is like the extent of examination. Welding inspector need to have one contractual agreement between customer, between contractor. The same extent of examination he need to follow during the welding. And third one is like for any high integrity fabrication process, he need to follow three process. One is the before welding, second one is the after during welding, and third one is the after welding. So friends, now we are discussing about duty of the welding inspector. So in before welding, two segment is there, before assembly, and second is the after assembly. Then second process is during welding, and third process is after welding. So friends, now we are discussing about before welding process. So before welding process, the welding inspector need to understand the preparation. In the preparation side, he should aware about what different kind of standard code and visual acceptance criteria required by client. Second, what are the drawing requirement, what are the tolerance given, what are the position given, is it applicable? Welding inspector need to check. And third one, the quality control procedure, which is related with material handling procedure, documentation control, storage, and issue of welding consumable. So friends, welding consumable storage and issue is a difficult thing, like in which moisture and some other play a major role. So welding inspector need to take care about this factor. And fourth one is the quality plan, or you can say the ITP of the welding. So what are the witness point, what are the review point, what are the hold point that need to be taken care about welding inspector. He need to suppose in this case if TPI is required, he need to arrange the TPI also for witnessing. He need to arrange different process as per ITP. So after that friends, welding inspector need to check the welding procedure, that is the WPS, welding procedure specification. He need to identify what kind of joint is there, what kind of thickness limit is there, and which welder is approved, like welder qualification, which welder is approved as per WPS. So only approved welder or qualified welder can do the welding. And one more thing he need to take care, like the welder must have the valid certificate. if welder does not have the valid certificate or terminated certificate or expired certificate, welder cannot perform the welding. So after that, equipment, welding inspector need to take care about the equipment. Equipment must have the good condition. All equipment should be calibrated. The welder and area shall be safety following, like they should follow the safety. Then the material related, in which material they are going to weld, they have the proper correlation with the TC test certificate, and traceability should be proper. And second is, the material should have the correct dimension, and no damage and is not acceptable material. Now discussing about consumable. Before welding, welding inspector need to check is consumable based on WPS. He need to validate with WPS, like what consumable defined in WPS, the same consumable to use during the welding. And after that, process like groove or any kind of groove, any kind of groove which is in the WPS, same kind of groove he need to comply as per WPS. In the groove, any contamination is not acceptable, so he need to ensure before starting the welding that groove is free of defect and no contamination. Welding equipment must be in good condition, calibrated and based on equipment procedure. Now the part comes for fitment. So fitment is basically based on WPS, what kind of backing is there, because sometimes WPS is qualified without backing, sometimes WPS is qualified with backing. So all these parameter welding inspector need to take care, and also see the workmanship should be good. And next is the preheat. In WPS, minimum preheat is defined. So before welding, he need to ensure that welder is preheat the component as per WPS or not. So friends, after first case, like before welding, we are moving for second case, that is the during welding condition. In this, welding inspector need to take care about the weather condition, either raining is there or not, or any air flow is there or not. So he need to ensure that the suitable condition on suitable site where welding is going on. And then he need to take care about the welding process. Suppose in WPS it is defined that WPS is qualified with SMAW, shielded metal arc welding. So he need to check here whether welder is using the same process or different process. Welder, he need to also see that welder is approved as per WPS or not. Sometimes in a single WPS, multiple welder is qualified. One welder is qualified for root, one welder is qualified for fill up. So he need to check. Suppose one welder is qualified for root, so the same welder is doing the root or another welder doing the root. So all these parameter he need to take care. And then preheat temperature, welding inspector need to check care about preheat temperature. Then interpass temperature, which is showing in WPS maximum interpass temperature. So none of the time the interpass temperature goes beyond this limit. Then welding consumable, he need to take care as per WPS, the same welding consumable shall be used during the welding. And welding parameter, which is most important, I am emphasize more in this part, that welding inspector must see what current, what voltage, what travel speed they are using, and all three parameter based on WPS only. Otherwise what will happen, if heat input goes high and high, which is not as per WPS, the welding will be fail. And second is the root run. The root run is very important, friends, because if root run done by welder, so after the root run, welding inspector must see the quality of the root. Otherwise problem will be, if problem will be there in the root, so it is very difficult in the last. And next is the interrun dressing. Friends, sometimes in SMAW, when welder is doing welding, so flux is there, so that is the main cause of the slag. So after each and every layer, welder need to clean every layer after welding, and that process need to taken care by welding inspector. He need to guide to the welder. And second thing, he need to guide to welder also for distortion control, because sometimes during the welding plate may distort. So friends, now third process is coming, which is the after welding. In after welding, welding inspector must ensure that the same welder who performed the welding, he identify his number over the weld identify area. Otherwise it will be difficult to identify who did the weld. The second part is the visual inspection. So welding inspector must ensure that suitable all NDE process is conducted over the welding. No process is left. And visual inspection, acceptance criteria as per requirement. He need to ensure dimension survey as per drawing code which is mentioned. He need to ensure, and all other NDE report he need to complete before delivering to other department. Regarding the repair part, monitor repair to ensure compliance with procedures. You need to monitor the PWST if it is mentioned in the WPS. Then pressure and load testing. If it is required, he need to ensure that pressure testing, hydro testing, and whatever testing is given as per client requirement, that must be fulfilled, and he must have the all record. And documentation side, he need to check each and everything, sign the document and submit to QC department for their record. So friends, now I am briefing all the welding inspector duty before welding, during welding, and after welding in combined way. So first, check all the documentation, check all consumable, check material dimension and condition, preheating method and temperature, check fit and setup, ensure no undue stress is applied to the joint, check welding equipment, check amperage, voltage, polarity, ensure the correct technique, run sequence, check run out length, time lapses, cleaning between passes, interpass temperature, consumable control, maintenance of record and report, post cleaning, visual inspection of completed weld jointed, check weld contour and width, PWST, dimensional accuracy, weld reports, tie up with NDE, monitor any repairs. It is the duty of welding inspector to ensure that all welding and associated action are carried out in accordance with specification and any applicable procedure. So welding inspector must observe, record and compare. What he observe? He observe all the welding activity. What he record? He record what are the parameter the welder is applying during the welding. He must record somewhere. What he need to compare? He need to compare with acceptable standard what is given by client. He need to compare. So friends, I am trying to cover maximum what I can cover for welding inspection. I cover in this class, and due to time limitation we are not go in deep and deep. So my request to you, if you want anything, if you want this PPT, you can comment in my comment box. I will deliver the PPT to you in your mail ID. And second, if you want anything specific, give me topic in my comment box. I will make the video for you. Thank you so much. Stay safe.